J. Milosaurus Gymnasium via Doug Snyder's Way. Both today and this season, we're celebrating 100 years of Allen basketball. Today's special ceremony honors all the men and women who have stepped onto the hardwood, donning the canary and blue, as well as the exceptional leaders who have coached our teams over the past 100 years. One of those exceptional leaders is Hall of Fame coach Doug Snyder, who will help to lead us into our 100th year of Canary basketball. Before Coach rises to speak, please allow me to remind everyone that the Allentown School District, as well as the City of Allentown, have recently approved Doug Snyder's Way. The gym lobby, along with the stretch of Turner Street, directly in front of the J. Milosaurus Gymnasium, will be renamed in his honor on Wednesday, January 4th. Please help us to celebrate that event by coming out and supporting Canary basketball. It is a pleasure and an honor for me to be here to introduce my friend and colleague of many years, Coach Doug Snyder.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody, to the J. Milosaurus Gymnasium and the John Donware Court. This is a kickoff to 100 years of basketball in the city of Allentown. And we're trying to celebrate as we go through this winter season into next summer and into next fall. We want to start off the celebration throughout the course of the year with everybody in attendance, male and female, out and Dira, who are coaches or players, and I want the current players to stand as well, who have represented the city of Allentown. Will all former players and current players and coaches please stand up? Thank you very much. Thanks for being here today. We really appreciate it. That's part of the legacy here of Allentown basketball. Several years ago, I was over in my classroom in the Annex building, going through some file cabinets. I came across a booklet in 1972. Yeah, Big A Booster Club put that booklet out. And that booklet was titled Basketball 50 Years, 1922 to 1972. Obviously, when I saw that, I realized that when the year 2022 rolled around, we were going to be at 100 years of Allen basketball. And so I knew we needed to do something to celebrate a century worth of basketball played in the school district here in the city of Allentown. We have such a rich tradition of longevity and excellence here in the city of Allentown and in the school district of the city of Allentown. And one of the very aspects of that rich storied tradition is basketball. Now, we're probably at 106 years of basketball because as I researched this and we looked into it, we actually have rosters and coaches that go back to 1960. So we are over 100, or we'll say 100 plus years of Allen basketball. Now, one of those aspects of this rich tradition is the fact that there are over 1,400 high schools in the state of Pennsylvania. There are, according to our information, 6 of those 1,400 schools that have more wins in boys basketball than this school. And those schools would be Reading, Chester, Williamsport, Farrell, Uniontown, and Altoona. Allentown Allen stands 7th in the history of winningest boys basketball program in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm going to tell you we're probably higher than 7 because over the last couple of years where this guy signed me and earlier teams prior to Coach Craswell, we've won several district and league championships. We might be in 5th or 6th place. We might have surpassed Altoona and Uniontown, but we have to research that and get the information. But we were at the minimum 7th in the state of Pennsylvania. The other thing that is such a rich tradition in the history of basketball here in the city, and by the way, when I talk about the city, we're talking about Allen and Deer. For 40 years or so, there was only one public high school, and it was Allentown High School. 59 and 60, we then added Deer High School on the east side of the city. And then we separated, we had 2 teams. But for part of this time, everybody in the city went to Allentown High School. Part of that tradition of those over 100 years is that for 95 of those years, we had only 4 coaches. And we have representatives here to my left from those 4 families. For 25 years, J. Bernie Crum was the head basketball coach at this school. 4 state championship teams, countless league championship teams. We didn't have district titles back in that day, so we had league and states. Representing J. Bernie Crum today is the Honorable Judge Ed Kahn, who spans 2 of these famous coaches, because Ed Kahn played in 10th grade and 11th grade for J. Bernie Crum, and as a senior played for J. Milo Sewers, and in Milo Sewers' first year as the coach here at Allentown High School, he won the state championship. And went on to a successful 1,000-point career at Lehigh University. His famous story that he just related to me a moment ago was the fact that J. Bernie Crum left here, became the head coach at Muhlenberg College. And while he played for J. Bernie Crum here in high school, he played against Bernie Crum when he played at Lehigh, and Bernie Crum was coaching the Muhlenberg team. So he played for him and he played against him. I think he won that game, right? We did. And he said he won that game, okay? The next man, 24 years as the head basketball coach. We have representatives from J. Milo Seward's family here in attendance today. In his first year as the head coach, he won the state championship. I had the opportunity to serve as Milo Seward's last captain in 1974 as he retired from coaching and became the athletic director for, I believe, 8 years at that point from 74 to 82. 25 years, Bernie Crum. 24 years, Milo Seward. 23 years, John Donlawyer. John spent 8 years as the JV coach, but then became the varsity coach in 74-75 and went on to great success. We have members of the Donlawyer family with us here today. John Donlawyer left here in 97, 98 and spent not a couple, but 17 more years coaching high school basketball at Moravian Academy. John Donlawyer will be for a long time the winningest boys basketball coach in the history of District 11 with 624 total wins. And then there was me, who served for 23 years. So we go 25, 24, 23, 23. The running joke is that this guy here has to go somewhere between 23 and 25 years. He's in the start of the second year. Darnell Craswell took over last year for me. Darnell Craswell won the district title in just his first year of Allen basketball. Darnell Craswell was the captain of the basketball team for me. He was the captain of the football team here. He was not a one-time, but a two-time first team, Division III, All-American, and leading scorer in the history of DeSales University. Last year, Allen Canaries played Archbishop Ward in the state playoffs to a team that was nationally ranked and had 5 Division I players on it from the Philadelphia Catholic League and took them to the end of the game deep into the fourth quarter. So Darnell Craswell is part of the legacy of these coaches in the last 100 years in Allen High School. I just figured I'd say this too. When I first got the job in the late 90s, early 2000s, talking about tradition, and everybody in here is part of that. There's a bunch of guys that follow this team around everywhere they go. And there are a bunch of guys sitting over there in the blue shirts. Those guys actually have shirts made so they can support the team. One of those gentlemen who passed away looked at me 20 years ago when I took over and said, Coach Snyder, I have been following Allentown and Allen High School football and basketball for over 50 years, with the exception of 1 year. And I looked at him and said, is everything okay? Were you in the hospital? You got an injury or illness? And he looked at me and he said, it was 1944. And I was fighting the Japanese in the Pacific Ocean during World War II. As a history teacher, what am I going to say? I looked at it and said that is a valid excuse for missing the support of Allentown High School athletics. Those are the kinds of things that make this place special. Those are the kind of things that are represented by these families of the coaches who come over the last 100 years. It is now my great pleasure to introduce a former educator, administrator, sports enthusiast and supporter of Allentown School District Athletics, Mr. Ray O'Connell.
All right, first and foremost, I want to shout out to Doug Snyder. Unbelievable. Not only an outstanding coach, but an outstanding educator. And as politicians always have, we always have a proclamation. But Doug, everything in my proclamation is already stated. To Allentown High School and William Allen High School is marking the 100th season of basketball. With me today, I have Darrell Henrys, City Council member, and the chairperson of Parks and Recreation. Whereas Allen basketball has been a perennial power, producing 17 league championships, 13 boys and 6 girls District 11 crowns. Allen basketball has produced 5 boys state basketball titles and 1 girls basketball title. Allen basketball, gentlemen, you'll remember this, Allen basketball started its run at the 2200 great little Palestra. I played in a little Palestra, I played in Whitehall a long time ago, and when you're a basketball player, you walk in a little Palestra, you're intimidated from the get-go. As soon as you find a locker room, you're intimidated. The boys won 5 state titles, the girls won 1 state title. And like Doug stated, only had, over the course of 100 years, 5 coaches. J. Bernie Crum, J. Milo Swords, John Donmoyer, Doug Snyder, and now Darnell Craswell. My thank you to all the family members who are today. I didn't know J. Bernie Crum. I sat beside Milo many times in the stands, and I couldn't watch the game because it was always hitting me in the leg. Hey kid, you can watch that. Hey kid, you can see that. The Donmoyer family, Snyder family, Darnell, give a lot of big shoes to fill. Also, in Allen Allentown High School in William Allen, there were 12 boys who scored 1,000 points or more, and there were 6 girls who scored 1,000 points or more. They are Bob Hefner, Timmy Schmeidel, Steve Nyka, Doug Snyder, Wayne Thomas, Sean Kay, Ray Barbosa, Terrence Rodri, Adrian Ace Brown, Tyrese Martin, Talik Williams, Nate Ellis, Mara Herzog, Renee Maitland, Jezebel Pichardo, Jen Netwall, Carla Cardona, Melissa Trochet, and Keon Andrews, who all-star on the park. Now therefore, I, Ray O'Connell, Mayor of the City of Allentown, Pennsylvania, on behalf of all the citizens and residents of the city, commend Allentown High School, William Allen High School basketball program, and athletes for longevity and superiority in the pursuit of basketball excellence, and to furthermore proclaim today, December 18, 2021, Allentown High School, William Allen High School basketball program and athletes Appreciation Day in the great city of Allentown. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. We would all like to take a moment now to recognize the following individuals and thank them for coming out this afternoon, helping us to celebrate Allen basketball 100-year ceremony. First of all, Allen's principal, Brandy Sawyer. Members of the Allentown School District School Board, Phoebe Harris, Latarsha Brown, Lisa Conover, and Nancy Wilt. Also in attendance this afternoon, our new Allentown School District Superintendent, Dr. John Stanford, as well as State Representatives Pete Schreier and Mike Schlossberg. Now to focus our attention to behind the families of the coaching staffs. To help us celebrate William Allen basketball 100 years, Allen art teacher Rob McFetridge put together an amazing piece of art, drawing all 5 Allen boys basketball coaches over the past 100 years. The drawing includes coaches J. Bernie Crum, J. Milo Swords, John Donmoyer, Doug Snyder, and Darnell Craswell. Today we ask our coaches, as well as the family members and representatives of those great coaches no longer with us, to join together for a photo with Mr. Rob McFetridge as well as the artwork. As they walk over, I will allow you to know that prints of the original drawing are on sale today. Those prints are limited, so when you get a chance, if interested, please stop out to the lobby, get your print before they are sold out. Can we have one last showing of applause and thanks for all these family members and coaches who have done so much for career basketball over the years?